out of Texas is hot on Bound's heels. The tenacious youngster hasn't won yet, but he's bumped and banged his way to 10 top 10 finishes in 13 races. And making it a three-man battle, veteran Jimmy Hensley. After 25 years, the Virginia gentleman is still looking for his first Grand National title. So far, his number 25 has hounded Bown at every turn of the wheel. Tonight, Bown, Labonte, and Hensley will square off again. It's the Roses Stores 200 tonight on Sports Channel America. You're looking at Orange County Speedway in Rougemont, North Carolina, where in just a few moments, tonight's NASCAR Busch Grand National round, the Roses Stores 200, will get underway. Hello again, everyone. I'm Ron Williams, and tonight we have a great race for you here at Orange County Speedway. 30 cars about to do battle, and they're working on a tremendous point race as well. This is round 14 of the 1990 Grand National season. Here's the way the top five stack up. Chuck Bown of Portland, Oregon, your leader, by 34 points over Texan Bobby Labonte. The Virginian Jimmy Hensley sits third, then Kenny Wallace out of St. Louis. Tommy Houston, a local North Carolina driver, a very tight fifth. And we'll see how this battle will unfold throughout the night. The current point leader is Chuck Bown. He's standing by with our Ralph Shaheen.
Well, although he's starting from third spot on the grid, Chuck, you have to be pleased with the fact that you're back to the short tracks where you got your wins earlier this year.
Well, we are, Ralph. You know, we've had a good thing going on the smaller little racetracks here for the past 6 weeks or so, but you know, this is a new track. We haven't been here yet this year. I've competed here twice last year and really didn't have much luck, but that was kind of the story of 89, and this is 90, and we're glad to be here. We're looking for a good run with an Escafé Pontiac.
Well, starting third, does it change your strategy a little bit? You got Bobby Labonte lined up right alongside you.
Well, that's going to be exciting in the early going, and I'm not really sure just how it's going to unfold and who's going to be strong, but I hope we're the ones that, when things settle down and smooth out, I hope we're the ones going to the front and staying there, but it's not going to be easy. There's 30 of them gunning after us.
The thoughts of current Busch Grand National point leader Chuck Bown, who's won 3 in a row on the short tracks, but Glenn Jarrett, the last couple of weeks, the series has been on the super speedways.
Yes, it has, Ron, and that has been to the detriment of Chuck Bown. He built his point lead via his success on the short track so far this year. He has won the last 3 short track events, and when they made the schedule stops on the super speedways, it hurt Chuck a little bit. That's kind of surprising. Chuck has more super speedway experience than anybody out there in the Busch Grand National Series. However, his car owners and the people that maintain his car have grown up on the short track, so this is more to their liking. He's looking to build on his point lead now.
Now, last week at Dover, Delaware, in a 200-mile race, Chuck had some problems. He got in the way of a flying object, and it was a hood off another race car. We're going to show you that incident. Now, Glenn, this must be a scary thought for a driver.
It's very scary. You see smoke, cars going everywhere, and then all of a sudden you see a hood sailing along like a piece of paper, and you see it impales itself into the front end of Chuck Bown's car. He was very fortunate it didn't come into the driver's area of the car and give him injury. They were able to recover from this. Looking at the car, it's hard to believe, but he went on and finished 8th, and it maintained his point lead, so they were satisfied with that effort.
Keeping up the string of solid finishes that the Bown team has had all season long. Great qualifying stories to tell you here as qualifying unfolded at Orange County Speedway. A couple of surprises.
Advertising test. Your logos will be placed over the entire car for a price your advertising department will love. The 2-race test is to show your company's management people that they can make a nice profit from advertising and being associated with the stock car. So if the company you work for sells any kind of product or service and has distribution in the South or Southeast, have someone in your marketing or sales department call for more information. Have them call area 317-924-6916. Ask for Dave, and he'll be glad to explain how and why it can work for you. That number again, area 317-924-6916. Office hours are 9 to 5 weekdays.
Welcome back to Orange County Speedway in Rougemont, North Carolina, where in just a couple of moments the NASCAR Busch Grand National Cars and Stars will do battle in tonight's Roses Stores 214th race of the 1990 season. Glenn, Jared, we talked about some of the qualifying surprises. We'll tell you a little more about that, but maybe the biggest story here today was the extreme heat during qualifying.
That's right, Ron. It was very, very hot today here. In fact, they turned some speeds that I didn't think they were quite capable of because it was so hot. As you can see, the temperature is 86 degrees, humidity 61%, winds out of southwest. That's good because that keeps any potential thunderstorms away right now. However, the humidity factor is always tough here because in terms of high heat and high humidity, it's tough on the driver, and it could take its toll on some people tonight.
Sun's down, of course, evening hours for this race, so it's a little cooler, and hopefully it'll be a little more comfortable for everyone who's going to be competing here in just a couple of moments. A couple of surprises. The top two qualifiers tonight, two young Chargers of the Busch Grand National Series. Ralph Shaheen standing by to introduce you to them.
Jeff Burton gets his first pole of the season here at Orange County Speedway. And Jeff, what will you do now to keep the rest of these guys behind you?
Better run real fast, because I tell you what, these guys in these fields, they really want to win bad, and there's 29 other people that want to win just as bad as me, so we got to run hard to try to keep everybody behind us.
Well, Jeff Burton's not the only one who'll be starting from the front row for the first time this year. Ed Barrier, new car, new sponsor, and a new starting spot from a short track. You got to be feeling real good about that part of it. But how is the temperature and the weather going to affect you here tonight inside the car?
Well, I don't think temperature and weather is, is going to affect us that much. It's just, it really feels good the way my year's been going so far to get up here and get on the front row with the Pharaoh Motorsports and Richard Petty Barbecue Sauce come in to help us out for this race. And, hopefully we have a good run for them and things can come together and maybe run a few more short tracks for this team. It's kind of a two-race deal right now, and hopefully everything will work out.
The thoughts of two of the young Chargers of the Busch Grand National Tour who will be making up the lead row for tonight's Roses Stores 200. Now, this is not a super speedway event, it's a short track, and that means that things are just a little different in terms of tire strategy. The drivers and crew chiefs have to make their decisions about whether or not to change tires based on a somewhat different NASCAR rule. A little earlier, our Ralph Shaheen explained that rule.
Short track racing with NASCAR's Busch Series institutes a tire rule. It changes things around a little bit for the competitors. If they pit under the green flag, they can change two tires, any two. If they pit under the yellow, they can't change a tire unless it's okayed by an official. In other words, it's got to be a flat tire. Now, if they do change a tire under the yellow without the official's okay, it's a 2-lap penalty. With me now is Robert Black, the director of the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series. Robert, why do you install this tire rule?
First of all, back in 1982, when we started the Busch Grand National Series, we did it as a cost savings to the teams. Purses were not as high as we would have liked at that time, and a lot of the teams didn't have the personnel to travel the circuit to do what it takes to change tires, so we instituted the tire rule. It has been very good for the series. It has also kept the competition very close on the short tracks, which I think the fans really enjoy.
Well, one thing is for sure, the tire rule will make things very interesting tonight for the competitors.
So the thoughts of NASCAR officials on the tire rule in effect for tonight's Roses Stores 200. We'll be back to take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's event after this regional break on Sports Channel America.
Saturday Night Sizzle for the World Basketball League Game of the Week, only on the Sports Channel America Network. Sports Channel America turns up the heat this summer with exciting sports. The Pro Boxing Tour is in its second year and will continue to bring you today's heavy hitters and tomorrow's champions. It's a knockout. The USA is getting ready for the '92 Olympics, and you'll witness America's best young talent as they gear up for this worldwide showdown on U.S. Olympic Showcase. Your weekends are piston-powered with live and exclusive NASCAR action all summer long. And on Sunday nights, get a comprehensive look at the world of motorsports on Speedway Sunday. The World Basketball League is a fast and exciting brand of international basketball. We'll present season-long coverage, the All-Star Game, and the Championship Series. Sports Channel America serves up an ace with exclusive tennis events, including the U.S. Pro Championships, the Virginia Slims of Newport, and the Austrian Open. On World of International Sports, we'll canvass the world of sports and the world at large with exciting events from Australia to Zaire. Team USA is back for another summer of fun on the diamond as they challenge top teams from Korea, Mexico, Cuba, and more. And premiering this summer, it's body-slamming excitement on IWA Pro Wrestling. And in July, we'll kick off exclusive Canadian Football League coverage. More than 20 live games, full playoffs, and the Grey Cup Championship. All that and more when Sports Channel America turns up the heat this summer.
Creative design excellence, technological advancement, space-age innovations, 21st century quality. It's the best in fitness, health, conditioning, toning, and muscle development. The Soloflex Muscle Machine. We've designed one for your body. Call now for a free brochure.
Welcome back to Orange County Speedway in Rougemont, North Carolina. Ron Williams and Glenn Jarrett alongside to bring you tonight's Busch Grand National action, the Roses Stores 200. To get things underway, Lynn Dewar of the event sponsor.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The traditional call going out to the gentleman and the one-woman driver in competition tonight to get this race underway. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineup. Your pole sitter tonight from South Boston, Virginia, driving the Yard Motorsports Buick, the number 12 of Jeff Burton. Quite a surprise. And on the outside, equally surprising, in car number 33, it's Ed Barrier. Second row on the inside, lining up third, the current series point leader from Portland, Oregon, the Pontiac number 63, driven by Chuck Bown. And on the outside from Corpus Christi, Texas, car number 44, wheeled by Bobby Labonte. Third row inside in car number 14. Major surprise qualifying this close to the top from Virginia. It's Wayne Patterson. And on the outside, young Steve Grissom in car number 31. He's from Gadsden, Alabama. Fourth row inside, great series veteran from Rockridge, Bath, Virginia, the 22 of Rick Mast. And on the outside from the Richmond area, the 85 of young Bobby Moon. Fifth row inside from Chicago, Illinois, the 08 Buick of Bobby Dotter. On the outside, third in series point standings from Ridgeway, Virginia, the 25 of Jimmy Hensley. Your sixth row inside from the Tidewater area of Virginia, the 27 of Elton Sawyer. And on the outside, driving the Texas Pete automobile, the number 9 of Ward Burton. Seventh row on the inside from the St. Louis area, the 36. That's a Pontiac for young Kenny Wallace. And on the outside from McConnellsburg, Pennsylvania, the 96 of Tom Peck. Eighth row tonight on the inside, the 59 of Robert Presley. And on the outside from Nashville, Tennessee, the car number 8 of Bobby Hamilton. Your ninth row inside, New Englander Dave Rezendes in his own number 79. And on the outside, all the way from Michigan, car number 34 for Jack Sprague. And the 10th row, great veteran L.D. Ottinger from Tennessee in car number 2. On the outside, lining up 20th, young Todd Bodine in car number 42. Cars are moving away now to get tonight's event underway. The 11th row includes Dana Patton and Todd Gray. 12th row, Joe Nemechek and Jack Ingram. One of the biggest stories, how many of the regulars of this series qualified deep in the field. Tommy Houston and Billy Standridge in the 13th row. Tommy Ellis and Davey Johnson, the 14th row. Shotgun on the field, Patty Moise in car number 45. And Glenn Jarrett, to see Tommy Ellis and Tommy Houston so far back, major surprise.
Well, it is highly unusual, Ron. But one of the things that we have to remember is one reason they're starting so far back is they spent the 2-hour practice session this afternoon working on their cars to get them set up for the race. They weren't concerned about qualifying. They don't really care. 200 laps is a long way here. They wanted the cars to set up under them so that they would stay under them the whole race. So I look for those cars, the 6th car, the 99 car, and also Jack Ingram in the 11th car, to move steadily through the field as the race progresses.
As we watched practice and qualifying earlier, Glenn, you were telling me that those drivers were working very well on their race setups at that point, and so we'll see. They'll have a long way to go, a lot of cars to sift through. 29 cars about to take the green flag tonight for the Roses Stores 200, 14th race in the 1990 NASCAR Busch Grand National Series. Great to have you alongside tonight. The safety cars taking the field out of the second corner now, down the short backstretch. This track is just under a third of a mile. It's banked all the way around. The corners are fairly tight. Should be a great track for competition. We're looking forward to seeing the Roses Stores 200 unfold. Bobby Scruggs out of Roanoke, Virginia, is the official starter of the Busch Grand National Tour. The pace car dips on the pit road. Your lead row, Jeff Burton and Ed Barrier, about to bring him down to look for the green. 200 laps to go. The fans standing at Orange County Speedway. The green is out, and we are underway tonight. And getting to the first corner is Ed Barrier, your early leader. Jeff Burton comes right back at him out of the second corner as we watch Tommy Ellis and Tommy Houston trying to come up from the back of the pack. In turn 3 now, it's Barrier and Burton alongside, and Barrier grabs the lead on lap number 1.
That's kind of surprising. Ed Berrier running very strong here. Of course, he's got many, many laps on this racetrack, and he's really showing the way right now. In fact, he's pulling away by about 3 or 4 car lengths down the backstretch.
Berrier from the outside pole, getting right to it off the initial green flag. Chuck Bown, who qualified third, is in third spot at this point. We're going to take a look back in the field. Here's Tommy Houston and Jack Ingram already shifting through the pack. They are on the move. They started way back in the 23rd and 27th spots. They're on the move. They've passed several cars each already. Ingram, a veteran of this sort of racing. He's been the champion in this series a couple of times, Glenn, and he's really setting a good pace so far.
He certainly is. He's run up on a bunch of traffic right now. It's going to take him some time to wind his way through. However, the one thing about it is, working your way through that pack, it uses up a race car.
We look at the lead cars. Still Ed Berrier in the 33 car, the white number 12 right behind young Jeff Burton. That's the Ard Motorsports Buick. For those of you who followed this series for a number of years, you know the story of Sam Ard, who owns that automobile. For years, one of the great drivers in Busch Grand National competition. He was injured in a crash several years ago. He went into the car ownership business, and he's fielding a very strong ride for young Jeff Burton here tonight. 2 leaders have opened up about 8 car lengths on Chuck Bown. Wayne Patterson, we'll show him to you in a moment, is moving up nicely too. He's sitting fourth, but your leaders continuing to set sail. Ed Berrier in car number 33. He's out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. This is the Farrow's Truck Stop Richard Petty Barbecue Sauce car. And here's Jeff Burton, your second place runner, the Ard Motorsports Armor Meats automobile. And they are hooked up 1 and 2. Again, a reminder that the 33 car, Berrier's car, he qualified second fastest, just a tick behind Jeff Burton. Great battle taking shape. This is for 6th spot. The 22 car is Rick Mast of Virginia. The 44, Bobby Labonte from Corpus Christi, Texas. This is a race for 6th on the Speedway right now. And Mast has the advantage here as we take a look at Tommy Houston, apparently with a cut-down tire, Glenn.
Tommy got together with somebody else out on the racetrack. I didn't see who it was, but he did cut the right front tire. That's going to cost him. It'll be awfully tough to make that time up that he's losing right now on pit road.
Lead battle taking shape on the back straightaway. Jeff Burton to the inside of Ed Berrier. Chuck Bown will be in your picture shortly, and they'll make it a 3-car battle, and we have a change of lead. Jeff Burton claims the lead, the fast qualifier tonight, the Busch Pole Award winner, but here's Bown. Bown in the 63 car, who's won 3 in a row on this type of racetrack, going to the inside of Berrier as they hit turn 3, racing for 2nd spot. Burton is in the 12-year leader, then the 63 of Bound now challenging the 33 of Berrier as they duke it out for 2nd spot. Wayne Patterson, the red and white car right behind, that's the 14. He is sitting 4th, and here's Bound as they hit turn 3, dropping down low. We've completed 11 laps, and your leader is young Jeff Burton in the Ard Motorsports Buick. Berrier so far able to hold off Bound.
Yes, he is. And, it's a little surprising to see Chuck down that low on the racetrack this early, but he worked all afternoon in practice on getting the car set up so it would work down there, so when the race started, he could use that lower groove. The lower groove is always the quickest way around the racetrack, and I think he's about to overtake Ed Berrier now for 2nd place.
He works his way down low to pick off Berrier for 2nd. You've got a glimpse of Patterson, who's running a good 4th. You were saying to me earlier, Glenn, you thought that Bound might wait a while to drop down and take that lower groove.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Ron. I didn't expect to see him down that low this early because running the lower groove, although it is quicker, it does wear out your tires a little quicker than say up in the middle of the racetrack where Jeff Burton and Ed Berrier running. You see him backing off now. I think he just wants to cool things a little bit and pass Berrier when the opportunity presents itself, not when he forces it.
There's Jeff Burton, still your race leader in car number 12, the Ard Motorsports Buick. Quick qualifier, won the Busch Pole Award with a lap of 14.208 seconds. A little bit off the track record, but a very strong performance considering how hot it was. Now you get a look. The battle for 2nd is again involving 3 cars. The 33 is Ed Berrier, the 14 Wayne Patterson out of Virginia, alongside Chuck Bown now as they battle it out for 3rd. Berrier for the moment reclaiming 2nd.
Yeah, he's Ed is running in that upper groove, and he's running real smoothly right now. Chuck's kind of found himself hung out, if you can say that, on the lower side of the racetrack. Right now, it looks like the middle groove is the quicker groove around here. I think Chuck would be well served to back off a little bit and follow in behind those cars so the race progresses a little longer.
Now Wayne Patterson out of Richmond in car number 14, that is a Pontiac, and Patterson has been an infrequent Busch Grand National competitor in recent seasons. Spends most of his time racing what are called late model stock cars around the Virginia-Carolina area, but he's a regular at this track in the late model stock car division here at Orange County Speedway. He's given Chuck Bown all he can handle at the moment as Patterson claims 3rd spot ahead of Bown, and maybe now we're going to see Chuck Bown kind of settle back into 4th.
It looks like he's going to back off a little bit. Patterson's running extremely well. This is the first time we've had a chance to see him this year on the Busch circuit, and he is really making a showing for himself.
Patterson surprised a lot of the railbirds here when he picked up the 5th quick time today and sat on the 5th spot, and he's gone right to the front. He's running 3rd right now. Your leader is Jeff Burton. There's a look at the top 5. We'll be back with more from Rougemont in a moment.
One Tough Motor Oil announces one tough guarantee. The Quaker State 250,000-mile or 10-year guarantee. Register your new car at a participating service center. Then use only Quaker State. Have oil and filter changed as directed at a service center, and if any lubricated engine part suffers an oil-related breakdown within 250,000 miles or 10 years, you're covered. Quaker State guarantees it in writing. The big Q is One Tough Motor Oil.
Casio presents some of the hottest new faces in sports. He's 7'1", standing still. But when he lifts off, that's another story. He goes basket to basket in seconds flat. And energy, he's got plenty to burn. David Robinson and Casio. Because Casio watches do more than keep time. They keep you ahead of the game.
Strap yourself in for Speedway Sunday. This live show gives you an up-to-the-minute comprehensive look at the exciting world of motorsports. Speedway Sunday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Sports Channel America, Sunday. Saturday, they'll be shooting out the Northern Lights in Calgary when Chip Engeland and the 88 suit up for a battle with the Canadian national team. Live at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, exclusively on Sports Channel America, Saturday.
Back at Orange County Speedway in Rougemont, North Carolina, your leader in the Roses Stores 200 is Jeff Burton in car number 12, the Art Motorsports Buick. 27 laps out of 200 into the books. Glenn Jarrett, and already Burton seeming to show a lot of strength here tonight.
He certainly is. He's moved out to a pretty sizable lead right now. Of course, it's always easier for the leader to move out when the second, third, and fourth place cars are battling each other.
Now, we've had some problems. We told you earlier about Tommy Houston's cut tire. He stopped in the pits just a moment ago with another problem. Ralph?
Ron, it's the same thing. He got another cut tire, came back into the pits, and it's back with the same tire that he had problems with before.
And we've got trouble if we can take a look on the main straightaway. A couple of cars getting together. The 27 of Elton Sawyer and the 2 of L.D. Ottinger tangling as they came by the start-finish line. And we see the 27 car firing again. That's Elton Sawyer's automobile, the A.G. Dillard car. He's back underway, and L.D. Ottinger gets his car pointed in the right direction as well. But we have a caution on the speedway. First yellow flag period of the night. It comes on lap number 30, Glenn.
It's a little unusual to see them spin down the front straightaway. This is a roomy racetrack. These two guys came off the fourth turn and battling real hard with each other. They hooked up and got together, and they just couldn't control them.
All right, so the field under caution here at Orange County Speedway. And we'll be back in just a few moments to pick up the action tonight at the Roses Stores 200 at Orange County Speedway. We pause now for a regional break. Sports Channel America's coverage of the Roses Stores 200 will return after these messages.
The Nazis feared him. His men feared him even more. Now you can own this Academy Award-winning film as your introduction to the great movies of World War II from Time Life Video. George C. Scott stars as the rebellious military genius who defeated Rommel in Africa.
I read your book.
Who had only one mission.
Where you going, General? Berlin. I'm going to personally shoot that paper.
He was an American legend. Other videos include The Dirty Dozen and The Great Escape. Buy only the videos you want, cancel anytime. So call now for Patton, a 2-video set for just $19.99. The great movies of World War II. Here's how to order.
To order your Patton video, call 1-800-238-3100, 1-800-238-3100, or send $19.99 plus $3.23 shipping and handling to Patton, P.O. Box 4670, Omaha, Nebraska.
And we're back at Orange County Speedway, Rougemont, North Carolina. The Roses Stores 200 for the NASCAR Busch Grand National cars. We're under caution at lap 33. Here's what caused the caution, the close of this tangle between L.D. Ottinger and Elton Sawyer, Glenn.
Yeah, they just were both going for the same spot on the racetrack at the same time, and it's just one of those situations where you wish you had backed out. One of them or both of them are going to wish they had backed out.
We talked earlier about this being a track that's just under a third of a mile. Green flag comes out with your leader, Jeff Burton, taking them out of turn 4 to begin lap number 35. Burton in car number 12. The 47 car is Billy Standridge's automobile, and he is a lap down at this point. Chuck Bown is the series point leader. We talked about him earlier. Bown sitting in second spot right now. On the track, he's third. But Burton, at the moment at least, has things pretty much his way.
Absolutely. He's got a clear racetrack. We got another car in trouble. That's coming off 4. He scrapes the wall, but now he's okay. Burton has had things pretty much his way. He's out front. He's got a clear racetrack ahead of him. He doesn't have to worry about traffic, so he can pick and choose any groove he wants to run in right now. It's definitely to his advantage.
And Burton using that advantage to set sail. And Chuck Bown has worked his way around the Billy Standridge automobile, so Bown is a clear second. But your leader, Jeff Burton, in the Armor Meats car, and he's running all by himself as L.D. Ottinger brings his automobile back down pit road. Ottinger, one of the cars involved in that tangle we showed you a few moments ago. Burton still working all by himself out on the Speedway here. This racetrack just under 0.4 of a mile, and it's banked all the way around, quite wide. Plenty of room for these drivers to pass.
Lots of racing room here, and I think you're going to see Chuck Bown inching into the picture. There he is. He's moving up on Burton. Burton has got a lot of laps on this racetrack. He started his racing career here and at nearby South Boston Speedway, and he knows the way around here as well as anybody. But Chuck Bown's car is definitely hooked up now. I think we're going to see a battle for first place very shortly.
This is the kind of situation that Bown excels at, open racetrack, a chance to let his car do what it's set up to do. And we were saying earlier, you were telling me, Glenn, that you thought Chuck was planning on the last 50 laps, not the first 50 of tonight.
Well, Chuck will take things as they come to him. If he feels like the car can run these quick laps without punishing it, without wearing the tires excessively, he'll go on and do it. He's not going to just soft pedal around the whole night. But right now, he's really putting the pressure on Burton.
Certainly is, but Burton doing a great job. He's been a very strong driver of this series, although he's very new to the Busch Grand National Series. Here's the battle for third. We talked about Ed Barrier in the 33 car. He is third. Wayne Patterson out of Richmond, the red and white 14 car. That's a Pontiac. He is fourth. And Rick Mast in the 22, his own automobile, is fifth. And we've got the 3 cars under a blanket as Patterson moves to the inside of Barrier and grabs third in turn 1.
Barrier's car already seems to be getting a little bit loose. Rick Mast is the man on the move right now.
Mast indeed coming up through there very nicely. He dispatches Barrier to grab fourth. Meantime, Chuck Bown to the inside of Jeff Burton down in turn 1. And Chuck Bown has grabbed the lead for the first time tonight, the series point leader. But here comes Burton on the outside as they race to turn 3. Burton in the middle of the racetrack. Bown occupying the lower lane. Burton comes back at him to lead the next lap on the high side as we complete lap number 44 out of 200. Great side-by-side racing.
Absolutely, and that's what's great about this racetrack. You can run 2 abreast like that all the way around the racetrack. There's plenty of room in the corners for both cars. You haven't seen them touch yet, although I have an idea you might before this is over.
Now is Bown pushing just a little? He backed out of it, and now he's tucked in behind Burton once again.
Anytime you turn your car low down on the racetrack like that, it will cause the car to push just a little because you're turning the steering wheel sharper or harder, so it's a sharper turning radius. I still am a little surprised that Chuck has moved down on the racetrack this low, this early in the race. Now you see he's backed out and is following more in single line with Jeff Burton. That's just an effort to cool his tires a little bit.
Even though Bound is a driver you may not have heard a lot about until this season, he's a driver with a lot of experience. He's raced some Winston Cup. He's out of the Pacific Northwest, raced in the Northeast for several years. Tremendous experience on all kinds of tracks, and really he's a driver who knows the value of patience on a speedway as he continues to work in second spot. But your leader, young Jeff Burton, out of the Tidewater, Virginia area. That's the Ard Motorsports Buick, sponsored now by Armor Meats. New sponsorship deal, and that sponsorship has to probably help their program.
Well, absolutely. It helps the morale, the spirit of the team, if nothing else. And Sam Ard, who owns and maintains that car of Jeff Burton's, was, even when I was racing, was the #1 man on the short tracks. And his experience and expertise is showing itself tonight in the way that car is prepared.
Now the lead 2 cars, you see the 12 and the 63, they're lapping by the A.G. Dillard 27 machine. That car driven by Elton Sawyer. He was involved in that tangle that brought out a caution back on lap 30, the only one we've had so far tonight. And he is well off the pace at this point. We're working on lap 50. 1/4 of the race is into the books now as Chuck Bown in the car number 63, the red automobile, moving to the inside of Jeff Burton again. Looked as though they touched just a second there.
Yeah, they did. Chuck got into him just a little bit, but he backed out and let Jeff straighten the car up. Chuck is a really clean driver. Now you see he's making a move again on the inside. I tell you, Jeff's car is working awfully well to hold Bound off. Bound has been the premier performer on the short tracks of late, and Jeff Burton is really giving the run for his money.
Door to door for the lead down into the first and second corners. Fans on their feet here at Orange County Speedway, Rougemont, North Carolina, where we're bringing you live coverage of tonight's Rose's Stores 200 in the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series. Jeff Burton in that white Buick, the number 12, giving Chuck Bown all he can handle and recapturing the lead down in turn number 1. Chuck Bown is a veteran, as we mentioned, of all sorts of stock car racing, but he's especially happy to be back on the short tracks for this middle portion of the 1990 season.
Well, it can't hurt the confidence any. You know, we've been doing real good on these tracks like Orange County, but this is a new race, a new track, and it's awfully hot out, so we'll have to wait and see. But I think we're in real good shape. Nescafe Pontiac are performing real good in practice. We're looking forward to tonight.
as well he should be. Bound started third. He's advanced to second. He's challenged Jeff Burton very strongly for the lead, and at the moment he's content to ride in Burton's wake as they sift through lap cars. This green car, the Todd Cray automobile, the 06 automobile. Cray, a youngster, only 19 years of age.
Yeah, this is the first time that I've had an opportunity to see Todd. He's been very impressive. It's a heck of a job tonight just to make the field here. There's several cars that went home, so Todd's doing a good job out there.
We're 56 laps into tonight's Rose's Stores 200. Your leader continues to be Jeff Burton. He's being dogged heavily by Chuck Bown, the series point leader. We'll be back with more of tonight's event after this timeout.
Casio presents some of the hottest new faces in sports. He's 7'1", standing still. But when he lifts off, that's another story. He goes basket to basket in seconds flat. And energy, he's got plenty to burn. David Robinson and Casio. Because Casio watches do more than keep time. They keep you ahead of the game.
How would you and representatives from your company like to be special guests at the races and meet and mingle with top drivers in the pit and garage areas? Grab a pen or pencil. There is a car in the top 10 of the point standings that is open for a 2-race advertising test. Your logos will be placed over the entire car for a price your advertising department will love. The 2-race test is to show your company's management people that they can make a nice profit from advertising and being associated with the stock car. So if the company you work for sells any kind of product or service and has distribution in the South or Southeast, have someone in your marketing or sales department call for more information. Have them call area 317-924-6916. Ask for Dave, and he'll be glad to explain how and why it can work for you. That number again, area 317-924-6916. Office hours are 9 to 5 weekdays.
Back at Orange County Speedway, Rougemont, North Carolina, as we bring you tonight's Rose's Stores 200. Time now for our Quaker State race summary, brought to you by Quaker State. One Tough Motor Oil as there's trouble down in turn 1. At 50 laps, Jeff Burton, car number 12, your leader. There had been one lead change and one caution for 6 laps. That took place on lap number 30. Average speed of the race so far, more than 89 miles an hour, and one car out of the chase, 28 remaining in competition, and we've just had our second caution flag of the night, Glenn Barrett.
Yes, Tommy Ellis in the 99 car, Dave Johnson in the 26 car tangle coming off the 4th turn, and again, quite unusually, we see a car spinning down the front straightaway. Tommy Ellis looped all the way around. He lost a lap in the scuffle, and the Dave Johnson car, the 26 car, is just ahead of the caution car. He's going to have to come and make a pit stop, so it's going to cost him a lap also.
Tommy Ellis in the Google Clusters Buick. We're going to take a look here now and show you the spin that caused the caution just in front of the lead cars. There's Ellis backing the 99 around over the start-finish line. Everybody else going high to get out of the way. Davey Johnson getting by, and Tommy Ellis refiring the 99. He's in the pitch now. He's going back out onto the speedway to catch the back of the pack. We'll be back at Rougemont after this message.
What makes a Quaker State engine so tough? One Tough Motor Oil. And being tough takes more than just talking tough. There's a brand that says it's been engineered for smaller engines. Well, Quaker State has been tested tough for small engines in Japan, in Europe, and in America. In fact, Quaker State has toughed out the most demanding specs for every size engine in every size car sold in the U.S. What makes any size Quaker State engine so tough? Quality engineered Quaker State. The big Q is one Tough Motor Oil.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing from Kit Parker Films, weighing in at 60 minutes of non-stop video cassette action, Wrestling Gold! They're all here. Randy, Macho Man Savage, Jerry Lawler, the Rock and Roll Express, Nick Bockwinkel, the Road Warriors, the Von Erichs, Hulk Hogan, and much more. Order now and also receive a second action-packed volume. See Tully Blanchard, Rick Rude, Ernie Ladd, Dick the Bruiser, Bobby Heenan, Ted DiBiase, Bruno Sammartino, and many more. You get 2 action videos for only $29.95 complete. Not sold in stores. Call our 24-hour hotline now.
To order your 2-volume set by credit card, call 1-800-841-0300 or send $29.95 plus $4.50 shipping and handling to Wrestling Gold, P.O. Box 4670, Omaha, Nebraska 68104. That's Wrestling Gold, P.O. Box 4670, Omaha, Nebraska 68104. Be sure to specify VHS or Beta.
Back at Orange County Speedway, Rougemont, North Carolina, we've just gone back to green flag racing in NASCAR's Busch Grand National Series to begin lap number 69. Car number 12, Burton. Right with him, Chuck Bown in car number 63. And we've been watching quite a nice battle developing. Rick Mast with the number 22 car out of Rockbridge, Bath, Virginia, has done a great job. Glenn, he's coming up on the leaders, and we should see more of him in a few moments. But here's Bown again, dogging Jeff Burton down into turn 1.
That's pretty much been the story all night, hadn't it, Ron? They've been almost stuck together for the entire duration of the race up to this point. Bound has tried him on the inside 3 or 4 times. There you see him pulling down low again, trying to make a move. Every time Jeff Burton has held him off successfully. So I got to give a lot of credit to Jeff Burton for the job he's doing. He's got a well-prepared race car, but it takes a good race driver to push the buttons, and he's doing a good job right now.
He sure is. From the outside pole position, or rather the inside pole position, he's done very, very strong work so far tonight, but he's got to know that NASCAR Classic Pontiac, the red number 63, is right there. And here's Bound again down the backstretch, making a bid for the lead. Ralph Shaheen is standing by in the pits. He's been talking to the crew chiefs of these 2 lead cars. Ralph, what have you been able to find out?
Well, Ron, we got Sam Hart with us, who's the crew chief of Jeff Burton, our leader. Sam, you got to be feeling real good to be out front here tonight.
I don't know what you said, because I can't hear you.
You got to be feeling real good to be out front here tonight.
It is a real good feeling to be out front. I just hope we can stay there. Chuck Bound is running awful good.
As you can see, Ron, it's awful hard to hear down here, so we're going to let Sam get back to the action.
I would say an amazingly cool Sam Hart, considering the fact that his young driver's got his hands full with Chuck Bound right at this point in time. Bound able to get alongside Burton, but he's not able to make the pass.
No, he's not. Chuck Bound turned it sideways last lap going into the first turn trying to get under Burton, but he still can't get around it.
Here's the battle for third, and it's been a great one for the last 15 laps. The 22 is Rick Mast of Virginia, Rockbridge, Bath specifically. The 14 is Wayne Patterson out of Richmond. Patterson had been third. Mast has slowly but surely been working his way up, and he's taken over third spot now from Patterson.
Yes, he has momentarily. Rick Mast looks to have a slight problem right now. He was really on the move, but now the car seems to have slowed a little bit in the center of the corner, and it's allowed the other cars, Patterson in the 14 and Steve Grissom in the 31 car right behind Patterson, to kind of close the gap back there. Patterson really putting the pressure on him now, using the metal horn, as he said.
The chrome horn to try to work his way by Mast. Mast, one of the cagey veterans of this Busch Grand National Series. You got a glimpse of the Steve Grissom 31 machine. He's sitting 5th, and just a little bit behind him, Jimmy Hensley's car. Hensley, a strong runner. Of course, he started way back in the pack. Hensley's put on a great drive to get up through and challenge it. We'll show you him in just a moment, too. Meantime, Mast continuing to hold off Wayne Patterson as they race for third. We're working up on lap number 80 this time by. Your leader continuing to be car number 12 with Jeff Burton on board. And here is Rick Mast in the Raven Boats Buick, car number 22. Your third place driver. Now here's Patterson to the outside. Mast's best finish this year, a 5th at South Boston a little earlier. He's been spending a lot of time on the Winston Cup Series as well. Meantime, Chuck Bound once again challenging Jeff Burton for the lead out of turn 4.
Yes, he is. He's still trying to take him on the inside. And Ron, let's tell the people about the number 8 car. That's Bobby Hamilton. Bobby is a lap down. That's why we haven't mentioned him. He came in, had to make a pit stop, and got some fresh tires. And those fresh tires are enabling him to run right with the leaders. As you see, he just moved by second place car number 63 with Chuck Bound. And I think that he'll be able to pass the leader, Jeff Burton. This will simply unlap him. He will not be in the lead.
As we watch Hamilton, as Glenn pointed out, the new tires apparently making quite a difference. Hamilton had stopped very early. He qualified in the middle of the pack tonight and has had his work cut out for him. If he can get by Burton and pick up a caution, he could find himself back in the hunt here.
Absolutely. With those fresh tires, he has indeed moved by leader Jeff Burton to move himself back into, I believe, the lead lap. Fresh tires will always make you go faster on a short track.
Now the strategy for the front runners, I'm sure for Chuck Bound, probably for Jeff Burton, is to try to go the whole way without having to change tires.
That's right, Ron. They don't want to stop unless they absolutely have to. This track traditionally has always been a little hard on tire wear, and this week they're running the hardest tire compound that they have all year, and so they're hoping that they can go the whole way.
Now we're looking at a great battle for fourth. Steve Grissom, you mentioned him a few minutes ago. Glenn, he's on the move. He soldiers right by Wayne Patterson to grab fourth, and here comes Robert Presley and Jimmy Hensley thrusting themselves into the thick of things. So unofficially, this will move Presley into fourth now behind the third place car of Grissom, and Jimmy Hensley trying to get by Patterson and claim 5th spot. Rick Mast, we should say, sitting third at the moment. That would mean that Grissom's 31 automobile and Presley would be behind the Mast automobile, but a great battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th taking shape right here.
Steve Steve Grissom has been running extremely well for the past 6 weeks on this circuit, and I think we need to give credit where credit's due, as well as to Steve Grissom, his crew chief Steve Bird, who used to turn the wrenches on last year's champion Rob Moroso. Steve Bird has made a tremendous difference in that team, and it's good to see Steve Grissom running as well as he is.
Grissom, a young veteran, he was a contender on the All-Pro circuit in the South for many years, a couple of seasons there, moved into Busch Series racing 2 years ago, really coming at it here because Rick Mast, sitting third, has got his mirrors full of the Big Mama Meats automobile. That's the car that Grissom is driving, the white number 31. Robert Presley's done a good job in that black and gold 59 car to come up through there. He, at the moment, is in fifth spot, and he's giving Grissom all he can do.
He certainly is. He's putting pressure on him now. He moves to the outside.
As we go back to the leaders, here's Chuck Bown to the inside of Jeff Burton, and Bown picks up the lead. Chuck Bown in car number 63 down low by half a car length as they hit turn 3, but Burton refuses to give ground and give up.
No, Chuck's still got about a half a car length lead. It's going to be awfully tough for Jeff to hold him off now because, as you can see, Chuck is moving up high on the racetrack.
We've got a caution on the Speedway. It's Wayne Patterson in the 14th car and Ward Burton, the leader's brother, in car number 9. They came together up in the second corner. Burton, you can see, taking the Texas Pete number 9 down low on the racetrack, getting refired. Patterson back on the Speedway in car number 14. But we have our third caution flag of the night out on lap number 91 here at Orange County Speedway in Rougemont, North Carolina. The pace car will pick up Chuck Bown as your leader. Jeff Burton sits in second. Rick Mast is third. And we pause now for a regional break. Sports Channel America's coverage of the Rosa Stores 200 will return after the...
One of the great advantages of doing business with a firm like Schwab is that you're dealing with professionals across the whole country. They're creating financial advantages for the individual investor.
I think the absence of sales pressure makes a really big difference to our customer. They've seen the competition, and they've come to a place where we don't have an axe to grind, and we don't have a sales quota to fill. I think investors find Schwab a really refreshing change.
The reason why I like working for Charles Schwab, it's an incredibly innovative company, and there are many things you can get involved in. It's not just stocks and bonds.
Many of our customers transfer their other brokerage accounts to Schwab because we make it easy. We help the customer complete the right form, they sign them, and we do the rest. It's that simple.
For a free booklet describing Schwab services, call toll-free 800-841-0300. That's 800-841-0300. Call Schwab today.
Back at Orange County Speedway, Rougemont, North Carolina, Ron Williams and Glenn Jarrett for live NASCAR Busch Grand National racing as we're on lap 94 of tonight's Rosa Stores 200. Your leader is Chuck Bown, who's won 3 in a row on these short tracks, bidding for number 4. He's the current series point leader. We talked about Bobby Hamilton's number 8. We've just gotten the confirmation from scoring. Hamilton had just ducked on the pit road for a second. He did not get back on the lead lap. He did unlap himself once, but he's 1 lap down at this point. Green flag is back out. Chuck Bown leads into the strike to begin lap number 95. Bown the leader in the 63 car. The 12 of Jeff Burton is second. The 22, Rick Mast, the blue and white car, is third. And Barrier, who's qualified on the outside pole in the 33, several laps down now as Bown leads him out of turn number 4. It's hard to know what battle to focus on as we look back at the lead battle. Meantime, one of the strong point contenders in the series, Bobby Labonte, is pit side with tire problems. They're changing too.
Yeah, they're going to have to, I think we're going to see a lot of cars changing tires. It's already, the action has been so fast and furious that they're wearing the tires out so much, they're going to see a lot of guys making pit stop.
Back up front, it's still Chuck Bown and Jeff Burton, and they have pretty much dominated the last 40 or so laps around this 3/8 of a mile circle here at Orange County Speedway, Rougemont, North Carolina. Closing in on the halfway point, Bobby Scruggs, the official starter of the Busch Grand National Series, will put the cross flags out. And just 2 more trips around for Chuck Bown. Bown and Burton now with some open racetrack, and they're going to have a chance to kind of set sail on Rick Mast and the rest of the field.
I think you'll see Chuck Bown set sail on the rest of the field now that he has finally gotten by Jeff Burton. I really don't think that Jeff's car works well enough down on the inside to get around Chuck again unless something happens to Chuck's car. He's already starting to pull away a couple of car lengths per lap, and I think you'll see him pull away from the field here shortly.
As we pass the halfway point, 100 into the books, 100 laps to go tonight here at Orange County Speedway. But a great battle for third spot. Robert Presley alongside Steve Grissom. The 59 car is Presley. The 31 is Grissom. They're duking it out for third as Mast, the third place runner, previously spins down in turn 2. Rick Mast got turned sideways in the second quarter of the 22 car, and he is upset, Glenn Jarrett.
Yes, I imagine he is. He's had a good, strong run. He's worked his way all the way through the field, and now he's at the back of the pack. He's got to do it all over again.
That brings out the caution flag for the fourth time tonight on lap 102, and we'll go back to it, show it to you one more time. Great battle for third spot. It involved Robert Presley in the 59, Steve Grissom in the 31. Mast in the 22 had been third. Here they are racing toward the first turn. Mast gets turned a little bit by Jimmy Hensley, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like Rick had to back out just a little bit because Steve Grissom was a little loose, and Jimmy just was right there on top of him and nudged him.
And we're going to take another look at it for you. A little tighter shot this time. Presley and Grissom banging fenders there. And there you see Mast getting helped around a little bit in the second corner. So Mast will have to go to the back of the pack as we continue under caution. He's back on the Speedway. We'll be back with more of the Roses Stores 200 in just a moment.
I got a meter.
Down, boy.
Oh, it's now or never.
Attention, shoppers. You're at a romantic dinner at her place. Candlelight, wine, something with a little spinach in it. And for dessert,
Come on.
humble pie. If she sees your dandruff.
I don't have dandruff.
Fine. Use your regular shampoo.
I can't have dandruff.
Aisle 9.
You mean you use Head and Shoulders?
Yeah.
But you don't have dandruff.
Right. Neither will she.
Head and Shoulders.
Hi.
Because you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Learn pool from the best. Never before have these 16 world champion players been gathered at one time to teach you the art of pool. Learn all the shots from the best players in the world. Let you in on their brand of magic. World champion, top-ranked players like #1 in the world Mike Siegel, Jimmy King James Rempe, Lori John Jones, Pretty Boy Floyd Mattia, Ava Mattia, and the rest of the best. The most amazing video on pool ever available. You'll learn to shoot like the pros. A once-in-a-lifetime chance to find out what the champs have known for years. Play pool like you've never played before.
To order your video of Learn from the Best, call 1-800-238-3100. That's 1-800-238-3100. Or send $24.95 plus $3 shipping and handling to Learn from the Best. P.O. Box 4670, Omaha, Nebraska 68104. Visa, MasterCard, and American Express accepted. To order now, call 1-800-238-3100.
Welcome back to Orange County Speedway, Rougemont, North Carolina. You're looking live at the Roses Stores 200 for NASCAR's Busch Grand National Series 107. 100 laps complete tonight. Your leader in car number 63 is Chuck Bown. Running second in the white number 12 car is Jeff Burton. He was your pole sitter tonight. And a strong run to third. Driver car number 59, Robert Presley. Glenn Garrett, you just see him, the black and gold car. He started 15th. He's doing the best passing job of the night. So
he certainly has. Robert loves this racetrack. It's one of his favorites of all time. Now we've got, you see Chuck Bown, the leader, moving around 22 cars, Rick Mast. Let me update the folks at home. While we were away on break and they were under caution, Rick Mast made a pit stop. He did not get back out in time. The leaders, the race had restarted. The leaders were responding, and now he has gone a lap down.
Tough break for Rick Mast. The car apparently not working so well anymore after the spin. They did not change tires, so he may even have flat-spotted tires. We see Tommy Ellis go another lap down on the 99 car.
Yeah, Tommy Ellis just also had a 2-tire change, so we're seeing a lot worse tire wear than what they anticipated here tonight, Ron.
This has just not been Tommy Ellis' weekend. He's the 1988 Busch Grand National champion. He really has not had a very solid year so far. He qualified very far back, and he's been no contender at all tonight in the Roses Stores 200. Chuck Bown continuing to set the pace here. He took the lead about 20 laps ago. And we're at lap 112 right now as your leader continues to be Bown over Jeff Burton. Burton and Robert Presley going at it for second spot. Presley to the inside, and we're going to take a look in just a second. We mentioned that Presley had been coming on very solidly as Bown continues to set the pace here at Orange County Speedway. Bown, as we told you, 3 wins in a row on these short tracks. And here's the battle for second that we've been alluding to. Jeff Burton in the 12 has been second, but Robert Presley coming from 15th spot on the inside to try to claim second spot.
Yeah, you can see Presley's cars really getting around the racetrack low like Chuck Bown, like the leader Chuck Bounds is. And now Presley does indeed make the move, takes over second, but Burton clobbers him as they come off the fourth turn, gets out of shape, and it allows Steve Grissom to move by Burton. So that really cost Jeff Burton, cost him 2 spots on the racetrack.
Burton got tangled up with Presley, as Glenn described, and also there to take advantage, Steve Grissom. Now Jimmy Hensley alongside Burton. Burton getting bumped all the way back to 5th. Kenny Wallace in the green and white 36 car. The 25, the blue and white car is Jimmy Hensley, and they are dogging Burton now. So Burton loses several spots on that exchange of sheet metal, and that was a scary moment. Burton was headed right to the outside wall.
Yeah, he did a good job of keeping control control of that car. I have an idea Jeff's car's getting a little bit loose because the guys are able to move down on the racetrack underneath him and drive by him without too much trouble right now. It's a shame that this has happened, but that's the price that you pay on this type of racetrack. You run hard early on, your tires go away. Meantime, while we're talking about all this, the great battles that we have all over the racetrack, leader Chuck Bown continues to motor away from the field.
Indeed, that's the case. It's time for our Quaker State race summary. Now brought to you by Quaker State. One tough motor oil. At 100 laps, your leader was Chuck Bown. 2 lead changes to that point in the race. And 4 caution periods covering 21 of the first 100 laps. Average speed 77 miles an hour and some change, and only 1 car had been out of the race, and now we see 0 cars out of the race. The one that had dropped out has come back in, so we're with a full complement of 29 automobiles on the Speedway. As we look at the battle for 4th spot, Jeff Burton, who had problems earlier, trying to get back, going in the right direction, toward the front. He's 4th, and Kenny Wallace giving him all he can handle as they battle it for 4th spot.
Yeah, you can watch Jeff's car, and you see when he goes into the turns, he has to run way up in the high groove on the racetrack. That's a certain indication that the car has indeed gotten loose. And you can see Kenny Wallace trying to put the move on him downstairs.
We're going to take you back through the field at the 100 lap mark as we look at that point. Robert Presley and Steve Grissom were the top 5. We have caution on the Speedway. Kenny Wallace's car laying down a smoke screen down through the second turn. And we had other problems on the Speedway as well. Wallace perhaps dropping a valve, Glenn. It looked as though he developed some serious motor problems.
Yes, he did, but that happened as the caution flag came out. The reason for the caution flag was car number 87, Joe Nemechek, had gotten into the wall.
All right, so that's your situation. 122 laps of the book, 78 to go. Chuck Bown continues to be your leader of the Rose's Stores 200 here in Rougemont, North Carolina. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Lots of motor oils claim to be tough. Quaker State puts it in writing.
Ask your participating service center about Quaker State's tough lubrication guarantee.
Only a tough motor oil can make a guarantee this tough. Quaker State is one tough motor oil.
Now, for the first time ever on videotape, Brian Voss, pro winner of 8 national championship titles, teaches you how to bowl your best. Whether you're a novice bowler, experienced league player, or professional hopeful, this tape will teach you everything you need to bowl your best. Not available in stores at any price. This tape is only available now on TV. You must order by calling the number on your screen. For $24.95, How to Bowl Your Best teaches you what Brian Voss knows about equipment, warm-ups, how to set up, and how to master your approach and delivery. Brian also shares his secrets to building speed and control to get more strikes and pick up more spares. You'll learn how to test and correct for lane conditions, building concentration and consistency. Bowl more strikes and beat your competition. Gain the edge by buying now. Call 1-800-238-3100. Bowl your best. Call now and order Bowl Your Best with Brian Voss. Use your credit card to call 1-800-238-3100 or send your check to P.O. Box 4670, Omaha, Nebraska 68104. Visa, MasterCard, and American Express accepted. Call now.
This summer, turn on World of International Sports. We'll canvass the world of sports and the world at large with exciting events from Australia to Zaire. World of International Sports. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Sports Channel America, Friday nights.
We're back at Orange County Speedway, Rougemont, North Carolina, for the Rose's Stores 200. Field under caution at lap 124 as we look at the top 5. We're going to show you one of the incidents that contributed to the caution period. Here's Kenny Wallace challenging Jeff Burton for 4th spot. You can see that smoke, Jared, out of that left side exhaust pipe.
Yeah, and then it erupts, so he's definitely got, looks like a terminal engine problem tonight.
And standing by on pit road with our Ralph Shaheen is Kenny Wallace. Ralph, what's up?
As you said, Ron, a smoky ending to Kenny Wallace's night. Kenny, what went wrong?
Well, the Cox Tree Lumber Pine running real good. Up to about 4th spot, going for the lead, and motor just let go. It's not much you can say. It's about the 3rd week in a row we've had motor problems. We just got to get them underneath our belts, We'll be back. It might have been our win tonight. We were coming, but just have it load up and go home.
You mentioned this. You've had these problems before. Is there any particular part of the engine you're tracing these problems to?
Well, we don't know. We're just having problems all over right now, all over the motor compartment, but I'm confident my motor man can get it all together right now. We just got to get them under, got to get it fixed before we win any races.
All right, thank you, Ralph Shaheen, with Kenny Wallace out of the event as he was challenging Jeff Burton for 4th spot. We look at the leader, Chuck Bown. Less than 80 laps to go, Glenn. We're in that middle stage of the race now. This really ought to be Bound's time, but I think he may have a problem here with Robert Presley.
Well, he certainly could. Presley has come from way back in the pack. Has made a stronger move than anybody here, and he has done it on the low side of the racetrack as Chuck Bown did to take the lead from Jeff Burton. Chuck had moved out to about a straightaway lead before that caution period came, and now it has enabled Robert Presley to move right up on his bumper. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see if Chuck can maintain that lead.
Let's talk more about that. Ralph Shaheen standing by on pit road with Chuck Bown's crew chief.
Jeff Hensley. Jeff, what is the situation out here? We've noticed a lot of people making adjustments to the cars. Have you folks been running too fast for the racetrack?
Well, I don't think so. We've been fighting two different deals here. We're fighting the weather here because it looks like it's going to rain any minute. We're just trying to run hard and stay smooth. You know, it looks like Robert Presley's going to put a little heat on us now, but we just hope that we can keep this pace up. I think we can. We don't seem to be bothering or hurting the tires that bad. We're not slowing down that much.
If rain is going to be a threat, then will you really push it hard to stay out in front as long as you can and take a gamble?
Well, we're trying to right now. I mean, we're not running, we're not letting up. We're not running quite as hard as we can, but we're not easing up by no means.
All right, that's the situation in the Hensley pit.
And folks, as we go back to green here, they've given the 1-to-go signal now where they're waving the caution. I believe they're going to call it off, but we won't get the restart this time around. But when we do get the restart back to green conditions, keep your eye on Robert Presley. He is awfully quick on the takeoff of the races on the restarts.
Now, is that a matter of being quick through the gearbox or having a different gear set in your gearbox?
No, it's just more anticipation on Robert's part than anything else. The last restart, when he got under Rick Mast and the cars over there when they tangled coming off of turn 2, he was awfully close to jumping the start, but he didn't. He just times it perfectly. He's done this throughout his career. He's real quick off the restart.
Reason for the continued caution, as Glenn mentioned, they were getting set to show the field the green one more time, but the track crew out on the backstretch laying down some more speedy dry. Apparently, they found another place where Kenny Wallace's car must have oiled the track down.
Yeah, it slicked it up pretty good down there. There was a lot. When you see that much smoke there, folks, there's oil causing that smoke, so it put a pretty good screen down on the bottom groove going into turn 3.
Car snaking back and forth. You saw your leader, Chuck Bown, whipping his car left to right to reheat his tires. Pace car still on the speedway. We're clocking lap 130 on the board this time by. There'll be 70 to go, and it'll be quite a shootout because Bown's going to have his hands full. We're going to pause now before we go back to green for a regional break. Sports Channel America's coverage of the Roses Stores 200 will return tonight after these messages.
43 over gap 8 stave, right? Don't let him out now. Ow! Hey, no!
Hard-hitting Rodney Moore battles Mario Fuentes in a junior welterweight slugfest on the next Sports Channel Pro Boxing Tour. Live at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, Monday.
This is a golfer. He'll play anywhere. Golf Digest magazine helps his game anywhere he plays with instructional articles from top pros. So wherever you play better with Golf Digest.
Get a full year of Golf Digest for $19.77. Call 800-841-0300 now and get our free half-hour instructional video with your paid subscription. Call 800-841-0300 now.
Welcome back to Green Flag Racing at Orange County Speedway, Rougemont, North Carolina. The green just coming back out as we work lap 133 of tonight's Roses Stores 200 here in Rougemont. Chuck Bown in car number 63, your leader, but he's got his hands full with Dayon, rushing Robert Presley in car number 59. Ralph Shaheen standing by with Presley's crew. We'll tell you more about that in a couple of moments as Presley puts a move on Bown. He put him right up against the wall.
Certainly did. He squeezed him right up against the wall. And now Chuck's paying him back. He's going to nudge him as they come off the corner. He didn't like that at all. Don't blame him.
Presley took him up high there as they came out of the second corner. So now Robert Presley is your leader on lap 134, and his crew chief's really done a great job, Ralph.
Well, that crew chief is Ricky Case. Now, Ricky, you guys just took over the lead. Will he try and run the field into the ground? Well, we started to go to the back.
The story from the Robert Presley pits, but now Presley and Bown, little tapping and banging as they come through 3 and 4.
And as they do that, juking and jiving and tapping and banging, it allows to. Now Presley's loose. He spins coming off the second turn.
Presley in trouble going into turn 1. He loops the car, and then they bring out the caution one more time. Everybody getting on the binders as Chuck Bown leads him back to the start-finish line to reclaim the lead on lap 137, and Steve Grissom in the 31 car will move back into second, and you could almost see that one coming, Glenn. We're going to take another look at it here on our slow motion replay. Presley had claimed the lead. He had put a little slide job on, bound down the backstretch, and here's how this all evolved with Presley spinning from the lead as they hit turn one.
You know, I think Presley just got in the corner too hard. Yeah, he's up high on the racetrack. Bound never touched him then. Chuck had paid him back coming off the other turn, but Robert did that to himself. He got in the corner too hard, too high.
A little too aggressive coming down to the first corner there. So Presley back pointed in the right direction, but we're under caution here at Rougemont, North Carolina. We'll have more for you in just a moment.
Hey, are you a sports fan? How would you like to win $100?
Do what?
$100. All you have to do is answer 6 sports trivia questions.
Like what?
Like questions on football, soccer, tennis, basketball, golf, baseball, auto racing. Yep, all sports. Just answer 6 trivia questions.
What are the questions?
Well, I can't tell you. Just call 1-900-446-GAME from a touch-tone phone. Answer 6 questions and win $100. It's that easy. In fact, over $100,000 has already been won.
What was that
one
number again?
1-900-446-GAME. Call now. In fact, call anytime. Test your sports knowledge and win $100. Championship Sports Trivia is only 95 cents per minute. Call 1-900-446-GAME.
You're right. I won. No joke. Give me the money.
You can't win if you don't call. Call 1-900-446-GAME. So what are you waiting for? Call now.
Yeah. One.
No Englishman has willfully gone into the water since William the Conqueror, 1066. It was too cold. But here, on your magnificent Virginia beach, I couldn't restrain myself. The water is delightful. One thing, when you come to Virginia, the natives are very curious about visitors. Excuse me, have you never seen anyone swimming before?
Call for your free Virginia vacation guide.
Back at Orange County Speedway, Rougemont, North Carolina. The green is out. Chuck Bown, your leader, Bobby Hamilton in the 8 car, trying to get a lap back. But look at this, Glenn Jarrett. You said Jack Ingram will be tough tonight. He's challenging for second spot.
Gives me chills to see this run. It's been a long time, but Jack Ingram is indeed a man on the move. He has pulled his way by almost everybody in the field, battling real hard now with Steve Grissom for second place. He has really been knocking fenders, driving as hard as I've seen Jack drive in a long, long time.
For those of you not familiar with the car, it's the number 11, the Skoll automobile, the Chevrolet, the maroon and white car on the inside. But now he's going to give up a little bit on the challenge to Steve Grissom for second spot. And Jeff Burton in car number 12 coming back. Now Burton led early, qualified on the pole. He's gotten back by Jack Ingram. And here comes Dave Resendes up. So Ingram's going to settle back apparently into about 5th spot now behind your leader, Chuck Bown. Burton is the second place driver. I checked that, I'm sorry. Burton is 3rd behind Steve Grissom, who is 2nd. We look at Burton in the 12, the 11 car of Ingram, the 79 of Dave Resendes, who's quietly put on a very good drive tonight as well.
He certainly has. He's been steady all night, just periodically, with no rush, picked his way through the field, running in the top 5 very strongly right now.
Good battling all over the Speedway here tonight in Orange County and Rougemont, North Carolina, as we look at Jack Ingram trying to track down Jeff Burton, who's currently 3rd. Coming up on the final 50 laps, Glenn, as we look at Ingram in 4th spot. And you mentioned this has not been the best of seasons for the Ironman. A couple of times the champion of this series.
Probably the worst season that Jack Ingram can ever remember. There have been several times when he's had to go home. He didn't even make the race. And this is indeed his strongest run of the year. He started way back in the field, and now he's pulled his way up to 4th place. And I think you'll see him put some pressure on the 3rd place car of Jeff Burton very, very shortly, because after Jeff runs under Greenfield for a little period of time, his tires get hot, the car gets real loose. So I think we see Jack really challenge for 3rd place here in the next couple of laps.
Now that particular sequence, Ingram took a look to the inside as they worked through 1 and 2, didn't quite have enough, but he apparently wants to get out of the corner and try to make his move at that point. That'd be the time, apparently, that he would like to try to make the move on Burton. A little while ago, before tonight's race, we had a chance to talk to Jack Ingram about just how strong he is at this particular speedway.
Well, you got to have good corner speed, and that seems to be the problem with most of us. Sometimes the corner speed goes away, and then you get to going sideways off the turn or pushing up in the middle. Either one of them 2 things happen, you're likely not to win. But if you can keep it better than the rest of them, it's the main thing here, corner speed. Horsepower really don't mean that much once you get started in the race good.
Jack Ingram talking about the elements it takes to run well here. He's got some of those elements in hand because as we were listening to that interview, Steve Grissom drops off the pace. Ingram has dispatched the 12 car of Jeff Burton, so that puts Ingram in second spot as Steve Grissom falls off the pace. Hi, Ralph Shaheen standing by with Jack Ingram's crew chief.
That's Rob Ingram, Jack's son. Now, Rob, your dad talked about the fact that cornering ability is what makes the car go fast here. Is the car still where he wants in the final stages, or is he battling it?
He's just following them right now, but we probably ain't got enough to win the race. The car's pushing a little bit. We started racing a little too tight. We probably got a good third place finish. Better than what we did here last year.
Well, there you have it from Robert Ingram, Jack Ingram's crew chief. He said the car's missing just a little bit. Glenn, now you were talking about how, or you were telling me that perhaps his car's pushing just a little bit.
Yeah, he said the car's pushing a little bit. That means that the car doesn't want to turn quite the way that it should when it goes into turns. But on a slick racetrack like this, late in the race, you want the car to push. It's tight. It doesn't spin the wheels coming off the corner.
All right, as we check back in on the leader, here's Chuck Bown. He's still got his hands full. The Bobby Hamilton machine, the black and white number 8. Now, Hamilton not on the lead lap, but he's been dogging Bown for the last 20 laps or so. Bown at the moment pretty much all by himself. Jack Ingram, the Iron Man, and he had the fans standing here when he made his move in the second as Bown continues to work at the front of the pack here tonight at the Rosa Stores 200, Rougemont, North Carolina, the scene of tonight's event. We're going to take a look at a battle now that's taking shape also on this 3/8-mile racetrack for fourth spot. The 12 of Jeff Burton, your pole sitter tonight, the 79 of Dave Rezendes. Now, Burton at the moment sits third. Rezendes is fourth. Tommy Houston's number 6, also in the picture. Houston a couple of laps down, but Rezendes, as we mentioned, has turned in a fine ride.
Dave's doing a really good job tonight. But you know, every time that we go back to a torrid battle for position that includes Jeff Burton, that's going to be one tired young man when he gets through tonight. He has really had his hands full. As he is battling with Rezendes for third place, he's slowly moving back up on the second place car of Jack Ingram.
He is. Now, we heard Robert Ingram say a few moments ago as we see a spin up in turn 2, and that's Patty Moise, so the number 45 getting loose up there. She gets the car pointed in the right direction. The yellow is out, and so we're back under caution on lap 162. Here at the Roses 200 tonight at Orange County Speedway, we're going to take a moment from you and pause now for a regional break. Sports Channel America's coverage of the Roses Stores 200 will return after these messages.
On the next U.S. Olympic Showcase, check out the best in American gymnastics at the U.S. Gymnastics Challenge. Plus, the USA is in France for a World Volleyball Clash. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Sports Channel America, Tuesday. The Junkyard Dog versus Man Mountain Mike Moore. And former WWF champs Chief Jules Strongbow versus Alpha, World Samoa number 1. IWA Championship Wrestling. 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on Sports Channel America, Wednesday.
He's unstoppable.
If I get the ball, you're at mercy of whatever I want to do.
Come Fly With Me, the ultimate video on the most exciting athlete in the world today. Every sports fan will want to own the hottest of sports videos, Michael Jordan Come Fly With Me. Witness his aerial onslaught as he takes on the rest of the NBA. To get your copy of Come Fly With Me, call 1-800-238-3100 today.
And we're back at Orange County Speedway, Rougemont, North Carolina. Ron Williams and Glenn Jarrett for tonight's Busch Grand National action. It's time now for our Quaker State race summary brought to you by Quaker State, One Tough Motor Oil. At 150 laps, your leader, Chuck Bown, in car number 63. There have been 5 lead changes, 6 caution periods taking up 38 laps. The race speed, 73 miles an hour and change, and 4 cars have fallen out of the event with 50 laps to go. But we're back to green flag racing with Chuck Bown, your leader. He's got his mirrors full. The 11 car of Jack Ingram, also in the hunt, the 12 of Jeff Burton. So there's your top 3 cars, with Dave Rezendes in the 79 making it a 4-way battle as they race off to turn 1.
Yeah, Jack Ingram's car is very, very strong right now because as the cautions come out and gives him a chance to cool his tires, he's running quick right now.
He's going very well. He's come up through the pack nicely. Ingram, one of those drivers who did not qualify well and had to come up from the back of the pack. Another driver we should mention is Bobby Hamilton. Glenn, he's in good shape right now.
Yes, as Patty Moise spun and brought out that last caution, it enabled Bobby Hamilton to get by leader Chuck Bown to move back into the lead lap. For the past 30 or 35 laps, Bobby Hamilton has been the only car capable of running with leader Chuck Bown. He has now worked his way up to 10th place. He's trying to move by the 34 car on the racetrack right now. He is indeed a man on the move.
Now, Hamilton in the black and white, number 8 to 34. The white car there driven by Jack Sprague. So Hamilton unofficially up to 10th and back on the lead lap. He's gained back the 2 laps he had lost earlier. Another driver who's in pretty good shape at this point ought to be Robert Presley, Glenn, because Presley had to go to the back after his earlier spin when he was the race leader.
Yeah, that was a big blessing for Presley, too. It's enabled him to close the gap on leader Chuck Bown, and he is one of the quickest cars on the racetrack, as is Bobby Hamilton. Bobby Hamilton might be quickest car on the racetrack at this point.
Hamilton now working his way alongside the Bobby Boone automobile, the 85 Hamilton this year, his best finish 4th so far in the Busch Grand National Series. Hamilton just starting to get his feet wet now in Winston Cup competition too, and he did a lot of driving for that Tom Cruise movie Days of Thunder, which opens nationwide in a couple of weeks on NASCAR stock car racing, Grand National Racing and Winston Cup racing. Here we see Hamilton working his way up on the 25 car. That's Jimmy Hensley, who is 3rd in the series point standings coming into tonight's race. Hensley had started off very well tonight, but he's kind of faded back into the event.
Yes, he has. Jimmy had to make a pit stop under caution earlier on in the race, and he lost 2 laps as he changed left side tires, so he's out of the running for the lead or for the win right now.
173 laps are on the board, less than 30 to go. Chuck Bown, your leader in the Nescafe Classic Pontiac, the number 63. That's the Hubert Hensley automobile. The Hensley name has been in this series for many, many years, Glenn.
Certainly has. Hubert Hensley's been tooling and maintaining winning race cars for about 25 years. Jimmy Hensley formerly drove for him. A lot of guys that have gotten a lot of good experience and won a lot of races under Hubert Hensley. You're looking at Chuck Bown in the 63 Nescafe car right now. He has pulled out to a comfortable 10 to 15 car length lead over second place Jack Ingram right now. Chuck has got things pretty well going his own way. It doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to do anything with him.
Jack Ingram has gone 95 races without a victory. He is second after a great drive tonight, but here's the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th on the Speedway. Jeff Burton, your pole sitter tonight, currently holds down 4th spot. Tom Peck, the blue car, the number 96, is running in 5th spot. And right with him, Bobby Labonte in car number 44. We've got trouble in the first corner. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. It involves the 33 car of Ed Barrier. Tough break for that young man. Glenn, I know you're very high on him. He started on the outside pole tonight.
Yes, Ed's an old friend of mine, and I hate to see this happen to him. He had fallen out of contention earlier on after he led the race briefly at the outset. He had some tire problems, had been in and out of the pits. We didn't get to see. Maybe we've got it on tape that we can see exactly what happened, but he has hit the wall a ton going down into turn 1.
Looked like he spun it back into the wall. He's lost some of the rear sheet metal. The back deck lid is gone, and part of that sheet metal still at the start-finish line as we take a look at that. The wrecker and the safety crew getting right on the scene. That's the back deck lid with the spoiler there. They're putting that on the hook to take it out. Some of the track safety officials taking a look inside, talking to Barrier to make sure he's okay. But we're back under caution. 23 laps to go tonight here at Orange County Speedway at Rougemont, North Carolina. We'll be back to bring you the close of the race in a moment.
Being a tough motor oil takes more than tough talk. Sure, one brand says it's for smaller cars, while Quaker State has been tested tough enough to exceed the most demanding specs for every size car sold in the U.S. Quaker State is one tough motor oil.
When I founded National Review in 1955, I had high hopes that proved naive. Hopes that every intelligent American would rush out to buy a copy, devour it from cover to cover, and never after let themselves be without it. Well, it didn't happen. But National Review was quickly acknowledged by those who knew it as one of the most stimulating, thoughtful magazines around.
I think you know that National Review is my favorite magazine.
When you get National Review, you'll have news and opinions you don't find anywhere else.
I like it because it cuts through the nonsense that normally surrounds most political issues with simple, common sense. And, of course, I love the humor. It's a very funny magazine.
Run through a few issues. If you don't like it, don't renew. You can even burn your back issues one at a time. But if you find National Review fascinating and funny, then stick with us.
To receive your trial subscription to National Review for only $17.95, call toll-free 1-800-238-3100.
Strap yourself in for Speedway Sunday. This live show gives you an up-to-the-minute comprehensive look at the exciting world of motorsports. Speedway Sunday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Sports Channel America, Sunday.
Welcome back to Orange County Speedway in Rougemont, North Carolina. Tonight's NASCAR Busch Grand National action. The Roses Stores 200. We're down to the last 21 laps, Glenn Jarrett, as we take a look at the top 5. And Chuck Bown has been able to soldier on. He certainly has not had it all his own way tonight, but he's really turned in a great drive over Jack Ingram, Dave Rosendis, Jeff Burton, and Tom Peck. And we look at the second 5 cars. Robert Presley, very much in contention, along with Bobby Hamilton, then Jack Sprague, Todd Bodine, and Dana Patton rounding up the top 10.
Yeah, these cautions have really been critical on leader Chuck Bown. He hates to see that because he's worked himself out a couple of times now to straightaway length leads, only to see it dissipate with the advent of a caution flag. This enables the whole field to move right back up on his back bumper. It also puts back into contention the 59 car of Robert Presley and the 8 car of Bobby Hamilton. You saw on the screen there, they're running in 7th and 8th position now. They're really close track position-wise to leader Chuck Bown now.
We take a look at the wrecked car of Ed Barrier coming in on the hook, and it's going to take him a little bit of work to get the Farrow's Truck Stop Oldsmobile back in shape for the next rounds of Busch Grand National competition in the weeks ahead. We take a look at Robert Presley going to the outside of Rick Mast. Mast was in contention in the middle stages of the race, but he spun and kind of fell out of contention now. Presley trying to work his way back up. He is sitting 6th as we anticipate the restart in a couple of moments. We're on lap 181, so there are 19 turns to go around this 3/8 mile banked oval in Rougemont, North Carolina. Safety crew has concluded its work up between 1 and 2, and Speedy Dry is down here, and Bobby Hamilton currently in 7th place. You've got to give Hamilton a lot of credit, Glenn. He may not win at this late stage, but he certainly turned in a fine ride tonight to get back into contention.
He sure has. It's awfully tough to make up 1 lap on a short track as fast as they run at these places, but he has made up 2 laps. He lost 2 laps earlier on with an unscheduled tire change, and now he's worked himself back into the lead lap and possibly in contention to win the race. You know, we've had a lot of cautions here later on, and if he gets one more, it might move him close enough up to make a bid for the lead.
Yellow flag still flying, though, from Bobby Scruggs, the official starter of the Busch Grand National Series. We must say that Hamilton is another of those drivers who did not qualify well. He started 16th, and he's advanced through the field twice on lap himself, and he's sitting 6th as we see the wind really picking up now, too.
Remember way back at the top of the show when one of the guys said it takes patience to win in one of these places. That's what you're talking about. You have to take the breaks as they come to you, run as hard as you can, take care of your car, be around at the end. The wind is indeed blowing very, very hard. It looks like it's blowing the storm clouds back toward us, but I believe we're going to be able to get this thing in before the rains hit us.
1 lap till green. The indication coming down from the flag stand to the field of cars lined up behind the Chevrolet safety car. Chuck Bown snaking the number 63 back and forth to reheat his tires. There you see the 11, the Skoll Chevrolet of Jack Ingram right behind it second. Dave Rezendes of the 79 car will restart third. The 12 of Jeff Burton, and boy, he has been very patient tonight and very steady throughout. He spun once. He's been off the pace a couple of times, but they've really kept things together in that pit tonight, the Art Motorsports crew.
Certainly have, and not only has he been patient, he's been a very, very busy race car driver. I think he's battled with everybody out there, so wherever he finishes in the top 5 tonight, he has done a heck of a job.
We'll go green now with 183 laps. This will be lap 184. The green is coming back out for Chuck Bown, and we're back underway on lap 184. And down the leader as they haul it off to turn 1. Look at L.D. Attinger trying to get up through the field. Tommy Houston several laps off the pace. And here's Jack Ingram, the Iron Man, makes a bid and grabs the lead in 3 and 4. Ingram running well off the get-go, off that green flag. Dave Rezendes right there, but Bown comes back on the outside. 3 wide. Dave Rezendes is low in the 79. Ingram in the middle of the 11 car, and Bown up high in the 63. This is a battle for the lead with less than 20 laps to go, and Bown gets it again, gets the front position as they come down over the start-finish line and haul it off to turn 1. And Rezendes in the 79, Glenn, surprisingly comes through to second. That kicks Ingram back to third.
He did. He dove down onto the apron to take second place away from Jack Ingram. I've been going to races for 30 years and have never seen 3 wide for the lead on a short track like this. This is incredible racing.
Especially a lot of these cars are on very worn tires at this stage of the game. Bound still your leader. Here's the 4th place car. That's Tom Peck in car number 96. The 59 of Robert Presley trying to get by the 12 of Jeff Burton as they battle it out for 5th. But Bound continues to lead. Here's Presley to the inside of Burton up in turn 1. So Presley moves up to 5th spot. It is Bound your leader. Rezendes is second. The 3rd spot belongs to Ingram. Tom Peck, the blue 96, is 4th. Here's your leader again, Bound. And Rezendes in the 79. Rezendes looking for his first Busch Grand National win. He's a Northeastern driver, raced the open-wheel modifieds for many years before turning to this form of competition a few years ago. He's chasing leader Chuck Bown.
Dave seems to be holding his own on the racetrack. In fact, he's inching back up on leader Chuck Bown. There's only 10 laps to go, and I'm sure that these are going to be 10 of the longest laps that Chuck Bown has ever raced. He has really had his hands full here tonight.
Fans standing here at Orange County Speedway as they anticipate a shootout to the finish. It's Bown and Rezendes. The 63 is Bown, the 79 Rezendes. As we're inside 10 to go, 9 laps left that time by. Bown now working the middle of the track. Glenn, you had said that Bown wanted to go to the bottom of the racetrack late in the going, but now he's up in the middle where everybody else has been. We're going to take a moment here as we look at Chuck Bown continue to lead. Our Al Shaheen standing by pit side with Ed Barrier. as we have trouble up at turn 1. Let's hang tight just for a second. We look at Robert Presley's car. He spun up in turn 1 again, Glenn, and backed into the wall. Now, that's the second time Presley's been in the wall up there.
It certainly has. Robert got a little over anxious that time, got up high on the racetrack, got tapped by somebody, slammed the wall hard. I don't think he'll be able to get back into the action.
He is up against the wall backwards there, and you can see Presley working the wheel. Now we're going to take a look at it on replay. Tom Peck and Presley hooking up as they hit turn 1, and Presley gets turned sideways, and he'll back into the wall, a hard shot.
Well, he took a real lick there, and Tom Peck really put the bumper to Robert Presley. I imagine later on sometime in this season that Robert Presley will want to settle that score.
There will be a few words about that, no doubt, as we take a look at Presley inside. The record's up there. Now we're inside the last 10 laps. We've put lap 194 on the board. There is a possibility we might sit under caution here for the balance of the event tonight, but we'll wait and see. Chuck Bown is your leader, and Dave Resendiz is the second place driver in car number 79. And you can't say enough about Resendiz and the job he's turned in tonight. He came from the back as well to get to the front of the field. A little while ago, we had a caution flag when Ed Barrier, who qualified so well, popped the wall up in turn 1. He's standing by with our Ralph Shaheen.
Well, Ed, you had a great run going here this afternoon, starting on the front row. What finally took you out?
Start with, you know, when I laid the first few laps, our car run good, and then the tires blistered on it and got real loose with us, and then got all that straightened out and come back and running there and come off the corner, and the car got sideways and just got up the wall, and then must have been something in the steering, and I couldn't get it turned when we went down in the one.
But you feel okay?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. The car's hurt a little bit, but I gotta say thanks to Richard Petty Barbecue Sauce for, you know, getting us here. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here tonight.
And those are the thoughts of Ed Barrier, who qualified so strongly, as the crowd goes up to take a look at Robert Presley, whose car is going in on the hook now in the turn 1 area. Tough break for Presley, who really has put on a great drive tonight. He was in contention several different times.
Yes, he has. He's put on a good show tonight. He's come from the back 2 different times to come back up and challenge for the lead, but I think this has ended his night tonight. You could see earlier on there with the shot as how close the fans were to the racetrack here. When Robert popped that wall down there, they really went scattering and getting away from there.
We're still under caution. We put 196 laps of 200 on the board, so there'll be 4. There are 4 to go. Bound will get 3 to go next time around. Chuck Bown, your leader, in car number 63. He has been the dominant force here tonight. He qualified 3rd fastest. Took him a while to get to the front, but he's been right around the front, if not the race leader, for virtually the entire night. And as we said at the top of the show, Glenn, he's won 3 straight on this sort of racetrack, on the short tracks, and certainly showing his strength on this surface here tonight.
Absolutely. You know what? We're going to see one whale of a race when they restart this thing. See Robert Presley walking across the racetrack. He's certainly okay, walking away under his own power. A little bit disappointed and dejected, but he can feel good knowing that he came from the back of his pack twice to challenge for the lead.
I have a feeling that's going to be small consolation, as torn up as that 59 car is, as we see it go in on the hook, but indeed a good effort tonight by Presley.
He'll probably like to send the repair bill to Tom Peck Racing to take care of that.
We still remain under caution the field up in turn number 2 behind leader Chuck Bown. He is immediately behind the Chevrolet safety car. There'll be 2 laps to go next time around. We're at 3 to go right now. Dave Resendiz in the 79 car. What do you do, Glenn, when you're this close to the end and you're a couple of car lengths behind a guy like Chuck Bown?
Well, you're going to see Dave make as strong a challenge as he can, obviously, to try to get under Chuck. Chuck's car hasn't been taking off quite as quickly. It takes him 2 or 3 laps once he, to get going to really pick up full speed, it seems like.
Quickly, let's go pit side. Our Ralph Shaheen with Robert Presley.
Robert, what happened?
I don't know. We got by Tom Peck. We hit a oil slick when we was leading. Coming back, I think we was as fast as anybody. Got by Tom Peck, and evidently his gas throttle hung or something, because he never did back out of it.
Those are the thoughts of Robert Presley, whose night ended against the first turn concrete issue a few moments ago. Now, we're going to come to the green this time by. Green flag will be out, and there will be 1 lap left, Glenn Jarrett, a 1-lap dash for all the money tonight here at Rougemont.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see if Chuck can hold him off. He's had trouble on the restart, so let's take a look at it. Here we come. Get ready, set for the final restart.
Bound your leader. Resendiz in the 79 is second. Ingram in the 11 is third. He may be a factor. The green is out. This is the last lap of the race. Bound takes him into turn 1. Chuck Bound, your leader. Resendiz trying to get a dig out of the second corner to go low, but Bound all by himself down into turn 3. Here's Resendiz. One final try out of the 4th corner to the checkered flag. It's Chuck Bound, your winner. Chuck Bown able to hold off Dave Resendiz for the victory. Resendiz grabs second. A great run by Jack Ingram for 3rd spot. And unofficially a battle for 4th between Jeff Burton in the 12 and Bobby Hamilton in the 8. And we'll let you know how it all turned out as soon as we get the official results from scoring. But your winner tonight, Chuck Bown in the Nescafe Classic Pontiac, car number 63, and a great outing for the Hubert Hensley Racing crew.
Well, that's 4 in a row for him, but you know, this has got to be the toughest one. The other ones, he kind of had things his own way at the end of the races. The previous 3 that he had won tonight, that was not the case. He had his hands full all night long, and I'm sure that his heart was beating as fast as anybody's here on that final restart. He knew he had to hold them off.
He got up through the gearbox cleanly. He never gave Resendiz a shot, really, as they came down to the green.
No, I think that was his best restart of the night, and he got away from Dave. Dave never really had the opportunity to mount a serious challenge to him.
Jack Ingram was trying to get the nose of his automobile up in there and get back into contention, but he was unsuccessful in that, but still a great outing for him.
Absolutely, the best that Jack has had this year. And you know, we're talking about Resendiz not being able to get to Bound. He also had to be thinking about holding off Ingram because he'd done all that work to get to second place. He didn't want to give it up on the last lap.
Absolutely not. So a lot of cautions in the last 50 laps, but Chuck Bown takes the measure of a very strong field tonight here at Orange County Speedway. Bown, your winner of the Roses Stores 200 here at Rougemont, North Carolina. We'll be back to talk to the winner after this timeout.
Dreading a typical night on television? Call this number instead.
Who's on the line?
And you can enter the Twilight Zone. On video cassette only through the CBS Video Library. Examine your first cassette risk-free for 10 days. See why this remarkable series earned 3 Emmy Awards. Witness masterful performances by some of America's favorite stars, like Jack Klugman.
How come you're 10 years old again?
And rediscover the genius of Twilight Zone's creator, Rod Serling.
Just a prolonged nightmare in which fear, loneliness, and the unexplainable walk hand in hand through the shadows.
Now it can be yours to enter whenever you like. Your first video cassette of 4 classic episodes is only $4.95. Call now to order The Twilight Zone on video cassette, only from the CBS Video Library. Credit card orders only, unless you prefer another typical night on television.
Set.
It's not simply a game. It's an era of fitness, health, muscle development, body toning, beauty, and power. It's the era of Soloplast. Become a part of it. Call anytime for a free brochure.
We're back at Orange County Speedway, Rougemont, North Carolina. The night's action is over. The winner, Chuck Bown, he's standing by with our Ralph Shaheen.
Chuck, a great finish for you here today. You're back to the short tracks and another win.
This is just too good to be true. It's just unbelievable. I can't say enough for Jeff and Hubert Hensley and the whole Hensley racing team. Nescafe, Pontiac, these guys are doing me a tremendous job this year. I had to work pretty hard tonight, but it was worth every bit of it. A lot of them come up and challenge. It was a lot of fun, and we worked for it. I think we earned it, but they're just doing such a tremendous job for me. I just can't describe it.
I think just about everybody in the field took a shot at you at one point in time or another.
It was interesting. It was Jeff Burton, who was awful strong in the early going, and then Robert Presley come up and gave me a good run and got by me even, but then he lost it up in the marbles in the first turn, and then Jack Ingram gave me a heck of a race right there with a few laps to go. And it was never easy. I never let up. I give it all I had all night.
We talked before about how much tires were going to be concerned here tonight. Did you run this car as hard as you could all the way through, or were you saving some for the end?
Well, I was trying to stay smooth and steady, but I wasn't riding. I was running the car pretty hard. I was trying not to abuse it, but I was running it pretty much as hard as it would go. I wanted to have some lap cars between me and the second place car on a restart, but I just couldn't make that happen. They were too strong tonight.
There wasn't a yellow flag in your favor at all tonight, was there?
I really didn't like seeing that very last one with one to go. Sometimes things can get pretty crazy with a green and white flag displayed, but I got a good bite down to the first and second turn, and we're able to hold on, and I'm just thrilled for this race team.
With the competition that was lined up behind you on that last lap, were you going to wait and see what they did, or did you have something in mind yourself?
I had something in mind, and I give it all I had, and I think it was one of my better restarts all night long. It came at a time when I really needed a good one.
Ron?
All right, thank you, Ralph, and congratulations go to Chuck Bown, the winner of tonight's Roses Stores 200 here at Orange County Speedway. So the evening's action complete. Bown, a great outing tonight, going very strongly out of the third starting spot to win tonight his 4th victory in a row on the short tracks. We're going to pause now for a regional break.
Follow America's top amateur athletes as they set their sights on Olympic gold. The U.S. Olympic Showcase, only on the Sports Channel America Network.
Hi, Body Shapers. With our new Body Shaping Home Gym and Video,
you can get into the best shape of your life.
The Body Shaping Home Gym and Workout Video is the exercise program you've been waiting for. Your program includes the revolutionary Body Shaping Home Gym and a 50-minute instructional video. The Home Gym cable provides variable resistance, which is the most effective way to exercise. The workout video is a step-by-step exercise guide with Corey Everson as your training partner. You'll lose fat, burn calories, you'll shape and tone your entire body. The Home Gym and Workout Video sell for $29.95 each, but when you order both, the price is only $39.95. That's a savings of $20. It's the perfect workout for men and women. Call toll-free 1-800-238-3100 to order the Body Shaping Home Gym or the Workout Video. Remember, order both and save $20. Call 1-800-238-3100 and shape up forever.
Strap yourself in for Speedway Sunday. This live show gives you an up-to-the-minute comprehensive look at the exciting world of motorsports. Speedway Sunday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Sports Channel America, Sunday. Saturday, they'll be shooting out the Northern Lights in Calgary when Chip Engeland and the 88 suit up for a battle with the Canadian national team. Live at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, exclusively on Sports Channel America, Saturday.
Englishmen do not laugh. An occasional titter, perhaps. Englishmen certainly do not scream with delight. Nor do they hoot and howl with animal glee. So if anyone tells you that while I was on vacation here in Virginia, I screamed, squealed, or otherwise acted American, just laugh it off.
Call for your free Virginia vacation guide.
And we're back at Orange County Speedway in Rougemont, North Carolina. We've been watching the light show around the Speedway, Glenn Jarrett, as the lightning's been blooming for quite a time. We understand a few raindrops starting to fall, but our night's action complete. The Rosa Stores 200 into the books. It's time for our Quaker State final race summary tonight, brought to you by Quaker State, One Tough Motor Oil. The winner of tonight's event, Chuck Bown in car number 63. 7 lead changes in all in tonight's event and 9 caution periods for 60 laps, several of them towards the end of the event. There you see the race average speed just a shade under 66 miles an hour.
Well, as the winner, Chuck Bown, alluded to before we went away for the last break, you know, those caution periods are awfully tough on you when you're leading the race right there at the end, because the guys behind you know when the restarts, that's their best chance to get by you. We saw Jack Ingram get under him at one point. Dave Resendez made it 3 deep at one point. You know, that really worries you. You know, you've got a lot to think about. You want to get off to a good quick start, but it's awfully tough. It's hard to live through those.
Now, Chuck Bown mentioned in the Winner's Circle interview that he had something in mind on that final restart. What's your general plan? Do you try to keep an eye on everybody out the back of the car, or what do you try to do?
Yeah, you're watching the guy, but primarily what you want to do is position yourself low enough on the racetrack coming off the turn so the guy can't motor by you on the inside. If he tries you on the outside, you can simply drift up as you come toward the start-finish line. You can squeeze him out. He's going to have to back out or get knocked into the wall. If he gets under you, there's not much you can do except race him down into the corner. Have an idea of what Chuck was going to do was give him a little false start and then take off from the bottom side of the racetrack to try to hold him off.
What about pace? Do you try to come down slow, or do you try to get the good jump off?
You mix it up. The last few times, you know, he had come off, we had mentioned that he got off to bad starts, and then Chuck himself said that was his best restart over the past 3 or 4, and it couldn't have come at a better time. But you really try to mix them up. If you set a pattern, if you do it the same way each and every time, then they pick up on that. You know, they can read that, so they say, well, you know, he's been weaving a little bit and then taking off. You know, I'm going to weave with him, and I'm going to take off the same time he does, or maybe an instant before. So you try to vary it, change it each and every restart. You know, and after so many restarts like they had there at the end of the race, you run out of things to do.
Sure. Kind of like a quarterback changing the snap count at the line of scrimmage, sort of to give everybody a little different look at things. Well, it was a great effort by Bound, certainly, to hold off Resendiz. Looked as though the track kind of came to Resendiz there toward the end. He hadn't really been a factor until the very
No,
end.
he had run strong and run steady, and you know, he didn't have a problem during the race, and a lot of other people did. You know, I was really surprised. I made mention during the telecast that when he dove down and made it 3 deep for the lead going into the third turn, they ran all the way through or up the backstretch and into the third turn 3 deep for the win. and for the lead, and that is just highly unusual. He did a heck of a job and did a great job in controlling that car.
We take a look at the final results. Chuck Bown the winner, Dave Rezendes checkers in second spot. The Iron Man Jack Ingram, boy, a lot of people here were very excited to see that 11 car up into the thick of things tonight. Ingram grabs third. Second 5, including Jack Sprague, who did a nice job tonight. We didn't talk much about him, but Todd Bodine in the Ames Stores car, normally driven by Kyle Petty, Dana Patton, Tom Peck, Bobby Labonte, who's been in the thick of the hunt. Another top 10 finish for Bobby Labonte in the point race. And then we take you back 11th through 15th, including Bobby Moon, Rick Mast, Ward Burton, Jimmy Hensley, who started up front tonight, and Tommy Ellis, who just endured a horrible night. And we'll continue and take a look at the balance of the field for you. Here's position 16 through 20. Bobby Dotter, Elton Sawyer, Tommy Houston, who got into trouble early with tires. Robert Presley, who ended against the wall after he challenged for the lead a couple of times. And 21st through 25th, Billy Standridge, Steve Grissom, Ed Barrier, L.D. Ottinger had a tough night tonight. Joe Nemechek, as the storm moves toward us off that river that Glenn Jarrett was talking about at the top of our broadcast here tonight. So you've seen the top 25 at tonight's Rose's Store 200. Here are the final 4 finishers. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
This original painting of Larry Bird, basketball's American hero, created by Alan Hackney, and this finely detailed oil painting of Dwight Evans of the Boston Red Sox, portrayed by sports artist Armand Lamontagne, are both displayed at the New England Sports Museum. Now, both are available to you in 1,000 limited edition lithographs, signed by the artist for only $125 each. Imagine Larry Bird in your home, or Dwight Evans in your favorite room. These collector's items are individually numbered, autographed by the sports star, and will increase in value. We're so sure we'll buy back your lithograph at any time for the original price. So order now.
Credit card customers, call toll-free 1-800-841-0300 or send check or money order for $125 plus $5 shipping and handling to Sports Litho, P.O. Box 877, Department Z, Providence, Rhode Island. Order now.
From J2 Communications, Ali, Foreman, Frazier, Holmes, and Norton. 5 of the world's greatest heavyweight champions together for the first time in Champions Forever, the video. You'll relive their most thrilling moments in the ring and catch them with their gloves down.
I started getting in their face, looking them dead in the eye.
The men, the legends, the video. Champions Forever. Order Champions Forever now, and you'll also receive free this boxing glove keychain. It's made just like the real thing, and it's yours free when you order Champions Forever now.
For rush delivery of your Champions Forever video, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-841-0300 or send $19.95 plus $4 shipping and handling to Champions Forever, P.O. Box 4670, Omaha, Nebraska. Call 1-800-841-0300.
Well, we're back here at Orange County Speedway. Down here in the infield, it's starting to rain. Lucky for us, we got it all in. And I think, Ron and Glenn, that you really have to figure that right now it sure looks like it's going to be Chuck Bowngier. And if anybody's going to be able to do anything to get him, they're going to have to do it on the short tracks. And right now, it doesn't look like there's going to be anybody who can really knock him out of every short track race because he seems to be there night after night after night.
No question about it, Ralph. Indeed, Bound very strong on the short tracks. And we mentioned earlier, he had that problem at Dover last week in the 200-mile Super Speedway event last Saturday. He finished in the top 10 despite running into a flying hood down the backstretch as the rain starts to fall here more definitely now at Orange County Speedway. Busch Grand National action is over. A couple of the local divisions, the late model stock cars that ordinarily run here on Saturday night, and the street stocks hoping to get their racing events in. They're out on the track, Glenn Jarrett, but the rain is coming down pretty substantially right at the moment.
It doesn't look like that they're going to be able to do much more here tonight. The rain has been coming for quite some time. A lot of wind blowing right now. Yeah. I think we're going to get a heck of a summer thunderstorm here.
Well, we needed to get out and get some fresh air, and a little rain doesn't hurt at all as we bring you coverage tonight of the Rose's Stores 200 here on Sports Channel America. Great race to watch tonight, and really almost any short track event like this with these Busch Grand National cars and stars, it's a quick race. A lot of things happen in a short period of time.
Well, they do, and you know, we talked about that at the top of the show, how quickly things happen here. it's awfully tough to keep your hand and your eye on everything that's going on here because so much happens on a racetrack like this. This is the fastest 3/8 mile racetrack in the country, and you know, you can't keep track of everything going on here. As the leaders are making changes, there's battles back through the pack for second, third, and fourth, so it's a fan's delight. This is one of the best places, I think, in the country to come and watch a race.
We saw the fans jump up several times tonight when they would see a change of position or a move made on the leader. Let me ask you a question. We talked tonight earlier about Tommy Ellis. Jack Ingram did a good job tonight, but Ellis, Houston, some of those drivers who have been the mainstays of this division for a long time, they're having problems now. What's going on?
Well, there's so much competition. There's so much money, so many good sponsors that have come into the sports. That has enabled a lot of guys with a lot less experience to come and run just as fast as these veterans have for many, many years. The veterans came up the hard way, footing the bills themselves. You know, they've learned a lot over the years on these racetracks, but now, you know, there's a quotation in this sport, and nothing is truer: money buys speed, and that's simply it. These guys have got sponsors; they're going to put them up front.
The second half of that sentence is, how fast do you want to go? Write the check at the appropriate amount.
That's exactly right. If your pocketbook is thick enough, you can go faster than anybody.
We saw some of the young drivers do very well here tonight. Ed Barrier and Jeff Burton had qualified on the lead row. A lot of those young Chargers are going to be factors to be reckoned with through the balance of this Busch Grand National season. We'll have more from Rougemont in a moment.
How do you improve your golf game? You start by learning and maintaining a consistent, proper swing. That's why Mark Brooks, PGA Tour professional, developed and patented Swing Track. For the first time, any golfer, regardless of age or handicap, can feel a proper golf swing. Use Swing Track on the practice range and your muscle memory will give you dramatic results on the course. Use Swing Track. The pros do.
I think it's a device that'll help every player, even the pros.
And it really helped me to understand how important it is to keep your arms soft throughout the backswing and the downswing.
I've used the Swing Track, and it's been very beneficial to my game, and I really believe that it could help yours.
I recommend the use of Swing Track, along with consultation with your PGA professional.
To order your Swing Track and free video, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-238-3100. Call 1-800-238-3100 now.
Hi, Body Shapers. With our new Body Shaping Home Gym and Video, you can get into the best shape of your life.
The Body Shaping Home Gym and Workout Video is the exercise program you've been waiting for. Your program includes the revolutionary Body Shaping Home Gym and a 50-minute instructional video. The Home Gym cable provides variable resistance, which is the most effective way to exercise. The workout video is a step-by-step exercise guide with Corey Everson as your training partner. You'll lose fat, burn calories, you'll shape and tone your entire body. The Home Gym and Workout Video sell for $29.95 each, but when you order both, the price is only $39.95. That's a savings of $20. It's the perfect workout for men and women. Call toll-free 1-800-238-3100 to order the Body Shaping Home Gym or the Workout Video. Remember, order both and save $20. Call 1-800-238-3100 and shape up forever.
Well, we're back at Orange County Speedway in Rougemont, North Carolina. The Roses Stores 200 for the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series into the books tonight. We've taken refuge inside from the rain shower that blew in a few moments ago. We were lucky, Glenn Jarrett, I think, to get this one in tonight, considering the storm clouds that moved in before the green flag.
Very fortunate indeed. We mentioned the wind in the last 20 laps, that it was really starting to blow up a good storm. You know, the rain out there is not what bothered me so much, Ron. It's the lightning.
Yeah, that's not something you want to be around with race cars or live microphones or any of those things. Ralph Shaheen has handled our pit reporting chores very capably once again tonight. He was down in the thick of things with all the crew chiefs. Ralph, some thoughts from you tonight on which crews might have done the best job at coping with the changing racetrack conditions?
Well, I think obviously you have to take note of what Jeff Hensley and the boys up at Chuck Bound's team have done. And I think that's the big key here. Like Glenn was saying earlier, they really seem to have the short tracks figured out. Question now is going to be, what do they do about the super speedways? Alpine and Danny to be able to win a championship off the short tracks, but that team is looking towards the future. And they do want to eventually go run Winston Cup. In fact, they're talking about maybe running a few races next year. They're talking to their sponsor about seeing if they can put a deal together and maybe run a couple here and there. If that's the case, there's no way you can win a Winston Cup championship without being confident on a super speedway. And as Glenn pointed out earlier, Chuck has done well on super speedways in the past. He's done real well at Daytona, for instance. And his Winston West experience won't really help him out too much there, because out west, majority of the tracks are half miles or smaller. But that team is going to have to really try and work hard to figure out what it's going to take for them to win on a super speedway. We had a chance to talk with him yesterday about that a little bit, and I said, well, if you win the championship this year, would that be satisfying enough if you don't get a super speedway win?
Well, if you can hear us at this point, we've lost some of our power at our broadcast location behind the start-finish line here at Rougemont, North Carolina. We know our lights have gone off, but we believe we can still be heard anyway, and that's certainly good to know. The rain coming down in sheets at the moment here at Orange County Speedway, but one of the drivers we saw in competition tonight, Glenn Jarrett, is a young man of very limited racing experience, but he's a very strong contender. Joe Nemechek is from Florida. He's only been racing, believe it or not, for 3 years, and he's been a winner everywhere he's gone. Our Ralph Shaheen talked with him earlier today.
Joe Nemechek is a newcomer to the Busch Grand National Series this year. Although Joe is chasing Rookie of the Year honors, don't let his lack of NASCAR experience fool you. It's no indicator of his previous racing accomplishments.
I'm not sure exactly when it really started. We've been racing something, or I've been racing something all my life. It started when I was 13 years old on motorcycles and started running motocross. And we did very well in motocross. We won hundreds and hundreds of races. And after I got out of high school, went to college, and got into my family business, and everything got put on hold for a while. And I come back into town one day, and one of my friends, he said, let's go to autocross. You know, and I've never driven a street car, you know, never driven real fast. And so we went to an autocross, and we got in this car, and he had a Mazda RX-3. And we were racing this thing around the parking lot. And he went first, and we kept taking turns, and I kept getting faster than he would, and back and forth, and finally the car blew up. So then I said, hey, well, I got to try racing. So we built a mini stock, old Pinto car, paid $100 for it at a junkyard. We built the motor and went out and raced, and we won a whole bunch of races. So we just moving up the ladder, and we got into a late model car. That was in '88. And we raced a series called United Stock Car Alliance in the state of Florida. And we won 7 races, and we were the Rookie of the Year, and we also won the point championship. And moving up again, we went in the All-Pro in '89, and we won the Rookie of the Year. We won 4 races, set fast time twice, and also won the points battle at the last race of the year. And we're just moving up again. We're in Busch now, and it's a lot more competitive.
In order to best prepare for the tough Busch ranks, Joe enlisted the services of one of NASCAR's best, Donnie Allison.
I saw in Joe Nemechek what I felt like Donnie Allison was 25 or 30 years ago. The want-to do it. You know, regardless of the TV exposure or the girls hanging on him or whatever, you know, I saw a want to race. And I think the advantage that Joe Nemechek's got over several other guys that I've been around, that he also has some brains.
What I was looking from Donnie was to make me a better race car driver. And through his experience, and he's been racing a long time, he has to critique what I do wrong. And that's what he does, and it's making me better.
Those are the comments of Joe Nemechek, Glenn Jarrett. Earlier today, you can see the few lights that are still on here at Orange County Speedway. The rain just coming down in sheets at the moment. They say the storm should pass in a few minutes, but I don't know, Glenn, if there'll be anybody left to watch things change or to watch it watch it dry out here at Orange County Speedway tonight.
Yeah, this is a shame. It's been a real good, real competitive night so far, but we sure got to damp into it. There's not much we can do about the weather. It is terrible right now. For you folks that are in the dry in other parts of the country, we envy you.
We should take a moment and tell everyone that we'll be back with you on Sports Channel America in 2 weeks. We'll be bringing you a coverage of another Busch Grand National event from Volusia County Speedway in Barberville, Florida. It'll be 2 weeks from tonight on June the 23rd, so we'll certainly look forward to talking to you from Florida in just a couple of weeks. Well, it has been an exciting night of racing. Glenn Joe Nemechek, an interesting young man. He didn't fare very well tonight, but I think he's a force to be reckoned with in the future. As we take a look at Chuck Bown climbing out of the Nescafe Classic Pontiac. Bown, your winner tonight of the Roses Stores 200 here at Rougemont, North Carolina. Hope you enjoyed tonight's action. We're going to send you back to our Sports Nightly studios. We'll be talking to you again in just 2 weeks with more Busch Grand National action. So long for now.